This is Hoa Nguyen for the Woodbury Poetry Room. For the anthology, Other Influences, An Untold History of Feminist Avant-Garde Poetry, I contributed an essay which pays homage to Joanne Kiger, a page mother of mine. In it, I write how Kiger's influence was of poetry and practice, of intelligence shared, of kindness, of kith and kin, as her mentor Robert Duncan might say. From her, I learned how to get a story through a poem, the needs for polyvocality and intertextuality, for a light touch, for sculpting with sound, for paying attention to the news from without and the news from within. Her poems instructed me for their consideration of time and spirit next to the quotidian and her view of boundless forms of kinship, for her use of the field of the page and voice, what Kiger would call a voice glyph. I'll be reading from 1,000 Times You Lose Your Treasure, my 2021 publication from Wave Books. In it, I intended to invoke stories and writing a poetic narrative complexity that could bear witness to historical violence, tremendous events of loss and displacement, alongside other complexity of emotions, including triumph, joy, and uncontainability. At the center of the book was the inspiration to evoke my mother's life as a celebrated motorcycle stunt rider who leaves Vietnam at the height of the war with her mixed-race child, me, to never return home. Her story has all the features of hero, a person of extra-human qualities living through exceptional times. But I wanted to tell the story as a poet against typical modes of storytelling, a narration that does not seek to summate, but rather to summon, to be in dialogue with difficulty. I'll begin by reading the first poem from the book, 1,000 Times You Lose Your Treasure. In it, you'll hear a French word, mise en scène, setting the stage. And I was thinking about diaspora at its etymological root, to scatter. Seeds and crumbs. Yes, a famous mise en scène. When I was just a little girl, Engel looks too much like angel, and vice versa. What lies ahead? Rainbow, rainbows, who cares? Scatter the song, clavichord it. The future's not ours to see tenderly. Some of the poems are also found poems. This is one of those. Language points from Colloquial Vietnamese. This was a book that I bought in the 90s. It came with cassette tapes and with the idea that I would, as a monolingual person, teach myself Vietnamese. It didn't work, but I did get this poem from it. Language points from Colloquial Vietnamese. Word order with doi. With chi, doi often means only. He only studies. I can speak Vietnamese only a little. That's it, I will not talk anymore. Expressing ability, to do, to go. I can speak Vietnamese. I am able to speak Vietnamese. I am unable to do it. I am unable to go. The flying motorist artist, that's what the stunt troupe that my mother belonged to called themselves. This tells the story of how my mother met her fate. Her Vietnamese name was Diep, when she came to the U.S. In the late 60s. She renamed herself Linda. The Flying Motorist Artist. At 12, Diep didn't have a half-cent entrance fee to see the circus performance. When she was 12, 3 motorcycle performers traveled from Thailand to Kenta. I thought they were from the Philippines. No, Thailand. A motorcycle act that came to her province in the lower Mekong Delta, joining a country fair for the new year, 1954. Everywhere we came to see displays of snakes, contortionists, fortune tellers, to exchange caged birds. She, the disobey, Diep done with farm chores, washing clothes, seeing to chickens, but never the kitchen. She made things burn or break, they said, spilled rice in the dirt, bad luck, they said, and banned her. Recall that one seer and her mad possession, spirits in the belly, suddenly enlarged, round and hard. When she saw the fortune teller, the palm reader, they made tell of a sailboat. Come see the flying motorist artist, riding shadows on the wall of death, riding shadows on the wall of death. Watch them defy death on the wall of death. Danger perpendicular, their reaching hands, 2 men, a lone woman riding, her name loud and loud and loud, motorbike flying. The wooden wall roared. This next poem tells the story of my mother's naming. She was named Diep in Vietnam, but she actually had a first name, and this tells the story of that. Diep before completion. Her first name deemed too delicate for a failing baby. She was a baby, failing, arrived blue, feet first. Newly named Diep after the strapping Chinese butcher, renamed She Recovers. She says later, it's an ugly sounding name and thus not popular. I say it wrongly, can't really say it, fake my way. Do we believe in the compassionate protector of children? The past tense of sing is not singed. Napalm notes. Developed in secret at Harvard, produced by Dow Chemical, an efficient incendiary formula perfected on Valentine's Day, 1942. A thickened gasoline can be dropped from planes, napalm bombs, also flamethrowers. 8 million tons of bombs in Vietnam burns at 1,500 to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, 1/5 as hot as the surface of the sun. Very sticky, stable, also relatively cheap. Tryouts for the motorist artist team, the Flying Motorist Artist Team, 1956. She tried, sliding, pedaled torn pants, tryouts, a test of strength in the barrel, ride a bicycle. Are you sure a bicycle? A bicycle. Push and pedal, climb high banked sides, to try again and fall, to try again and fall, running blood. They said, okay, stop, enough, you're in. She said, I was the prettiest one and the darkest. To save performance shoes, they trained barefoot. She took a taste of earth, held hands on the wall of death. Learning the Dan Bao, the monochord of Vietnam, typically used for lamenting songs, traditionally sung by blind players. Single string with a resonator, empty coconut shell, manipulated by a stick, plucked entirely in harmonics, also called gourd zither. Pluck it with some kind of pick. The notes are clear and bell-like, fairy-like, a winged string. Flexing the string, the pitch rises and falls. The notes trill. It sounds like the Vietnamese voice, they say, the pitch bending the way the voice holds sway, bends towards the Vietnamese voice. Old as war, old as epic, a poor person's instrument. With an electric pickup and amp, you can make it sing, Welcome to the Hotel California. Actually sounds pretty rad. Sing, ding, ghostly. This tells the story of my mother's first daughter, who was also named Hoa. So I have her name. Sing, ding, ghostly. Where is she buried, the first Hoa, gone to ground, buried in Mekong mud, dead unknown years, drowned in lung matter? The first Hoa had not medicine, I got it, the medicine, and got the golden visa and the ash hair and breathings, lashings to a raft life, landed, lashed to life, the blonde joke of pool eyes. Mother swims from the nest, pushes sand first, scrapes flat flipper feet. We come from egg and make it, are the lived, loved thing. Cracked leather egg from dragon fairy mating, left warm in warm sand. She buried the nest, us, as nest, so we could unbury, gulp sand, few kin in the sand. We seek under beached beach, moon beach, the moon water beach. This isn't doing anything like redemption, doodad, mountain dragon, unsuffering, did slither seaways. Who are you to talk tits and knee shame, sing ding-dong songs at me, boys? I called it unsufferable, said, I'll meet her in heaven where the perfume is. I say, I'll meet you there, Hoa. Why this haunted middle end? Door hung with haunted girl bones. Yellow and pink comforter ending in pom-pom fringe on Flanders Avenue. She'll die here by choice. Ashes in the backyard, not in a circular cement bomb shelter for one. Go into your tree. Roll on a rabbit fur blanket. Refuse to eat for 30 days plus 10 days. Unremembered doesn't matter, misremembering the baby she lost, a different baby, unborn, never born, the unnamed. This rain reminds me of rain. I cleaned the pain, but smell it on the floorboards of a Ford Fiesta, maybe have to burn effigies, powder puff, French cosmetics, and perfume, the tortoiseshell hairbrush father gave her in Saigon. My butterfly, he wrote in the long lost. This is a cliched test. Stuff the alarm clock in my bag, clouds and black in the afternoon. Untranslatable. Exercise 14 from Colloquial Vietnamese. Translate into Vietnamese. Are you happy, miss? Why are you so sad? What have you come here for? Are you English or American? Are you a tourist or a businessman? Are you a diplomat or a tourist? What did you do during the war? Were you an American military officer during the war in Vietnam? Why do you ask such a question? Red Shirt Shoes Girl Song. How many wives, how many sacks, how many cats, how many kits, how many life? Blue for a face blended in place in a cutie bastard bag of chips. The red shoes she wore were vain in the church. The dancing. I met there a man. He had objects. He had objects. He had objects exponentially. Her knee skinned velvet. Her broken fleeing. A kind of moon. Her doom was non-acceptance. Notes on Operation Hades. Renamed Trail Dust. Codename Operation Ranch Hand. Call sign Hades. 1961 to 1971, approximately 20 million gallons, or an average of 5,355 gallons per day for 3,735 days. Rainbow herbicides. Agent Pink, testing stages. Agent White, second most used. Agent Green, green stripe on barrel. Agent Orange, most widely. Agent Purple, similar to orange. Agent Blue, crop destruction. Applied aerially. Dense coastlines sprayed from boats, mixed with jet fuel, diesel. Monsanto Corporation. Dow Chemical. Oxbow Lake, the ones that are formed when, the rivers do their thing and then get cut off. Oxbow Lake. I might forget the long, slow build-up and cornball delivery of Happy Birthday, the remix sung years-old answering machine, makeup dust, and compacts I threw out, the whole makeup tote bag, half-used blush, pencils, and what else, a curse inside Nautilus. The hard final years were hard years, going blind, no going outside or hardly, and then to doctors, bebop to bebop boom radio of the sketchy pastoral on romancy bolster covered in American toile. And in her handwriting, the notebook full of figures, Jonathan, $200, etc., and that one that said, my treasures. Orpheus butterflies, ebony jewel wing, how much cloud face rainbow rage busting out saying, silly girl. My favorite lake being the orphaned one, made when the meandering became too strong. I forgot to sniff kiss the children, now they've grown. This is a poem that's like a mirror. Unrelated future tense. With me being a bastard and Saigon tea will ask about my language. People will ask about bar girls. Even without food in the poems, they will smell fish sauce and pho, ask about the war, which is to say about men, fathers, and soldiers, about white Americans. What about them? About them, about white Americans. What about men, fathers, and soldiers? Ask about the war, which is to say they will smell fish sauce and pho, even without food in the poems. People will ask about bar girls, and Saigon tea will ask about my language, with me being a bastard. And this final poem I'll read comes to close to the end of the book, and then I'll conclude by sharing an image from the book. Sings the wishing well, the ghost well cared for. In this story, the men get to live. The wife, faithful, dies. Her death is pious. Strangled stars bangle. Gather floating flowers, underworld yourself. A beautiful dreamer in the mosquito myth with visions of owning a grand house, she grows ill in the fields, dies, is arrayed in a field of flowers, saved by blood magic she later betrays, doomed to live as nuisance, begging, begging. Don't go again, I call, newly flooded fields of rice. Farm girl sits on the flood wall, sings the wishing well. We sing her story beyond time, wield feathers and clouds of her, a melted floating love gem, our tears mix with tears. I have no sacred rites for you, saving the sacred grove you grew. This is a postcard that was made of one of the images in the book. It has a poem in the back, which is a tiny little poem that goes, we sing to wing a string. We sing to wing again.